nothing comes perfect in the first round. So let yourself take the steps that you need to or the time you need to repeat yourself until you feel comfortable to actually hit the record button. Hi, my name is Jamie Lee. I am a broadcaster and educator living in Jeju Island, delivering skills on how to build your camera confidence. And that is what I'm focusing on these days. Other than that, I also go about the island of Jeju and shoot videos and vlogs. A lot of people freeze in front of the camera, and that is because you think that you are doing some kind of gig or you're giving some kind of performance to the audience on the other side of the lens, where in fact it's more about conversation. So think of yourself having a conversation, and that makes things so much lighter. You can pick one person that you know, or it might be an imaginary person. Just think of that person as you're talking to the camera lens and pretend like that person is sitting or standing right in front of you and you are speaking to this person one on one. It just makes the conversation so much easier. And when you're doing that, it makes you look a lot more natural on camera, like I'm doing right now in front of the camera. Because when you shift from audience to one human being, it just makes you feel more relatable in a personal way, if that makes any sense. It also softens your body, emotions, your expressions, and the way you present yourself in general. Number two, shrink the shakes. What I mean by shrink the shakes is trying to figure out a way to get rid of those jiggles or those emotions that make you feel uncomfortable or the thoughts that come to your mind when you are trying to give a performance, and whether that is talking to the camera or trying to get through a message across and you're feeling a little uncomfortable or you're feeling a burden coming on, just try to shrink away those thoughts. This doesn't come easily. It actually needs a little bit of practice, but with a little practice, it can take you a long way. For example, if you are feeling nerves coming on because you are starting to think about all of the mistakes that could possibly happen and all of the things that could go wrong, you're putting yourself in a very discomforting situation that hasn't actually happened. So, what you can do then is take yourself a step back. And before you even trying turning on that camera and pushing the record button, maybe go and stretch a little bit behind the camera or off camera and just try to breathe a little bit more deeper. This helps alleviate that adrenaline rush that you get before or while you're on camera. You can also do a fake recording of yourself for 30 seconds or 1 minute and just know that you're not going to be posting it anywhere and just let yourself ramble and go on and on and on. You might want to do a practice recording. You can think of it as a practice, or you can just think of it as yourself trying to do the best you can and just know that you're going to throw it away if it's not going to work out, because this gives you that relief. It takes you away from the burden of trying to be so perfect on camera. Because confidence doesn't come from perfection or the act of trying to be perfect. It actually comes from repetition and just allowing yourself to do things over and over again until you are good at it actually is the way to go, because that is actually the only way to get better at something. And I think we put too much burden on ourselves to try to get it perfect in the first try. And it just doesn't, it's not being good to yourself or nice to yourself by doing that. Nobody is asking you to be perfect in the first run. But we still want to be doing that because I don't know. I think we think that we are capable of doing things to our knowledge, but in fact, nothing comes perfect in the first round. So let yourself take the steps that you need to or the time you need to repeat yourself until you feel comfortable to actually hit the record button. Fix your posture before your words. Now, if you're fixated too much on the words that you are trying to deliver, there's a higher chance that you're going to mess up. But when you are sitting straight and letting your breath flow from your belly to your lungs and out of your system, in a proper way, in a natural way, that allows your entire body energy to flow through naturally. And it doesn't cut you off from one word to another. And so just by letting your entire body energy flow through the top of your body to down to your toes, it just lets you speak more natural. You can also think of it as feeding your ground or grounding your feet, whichever way you want to think of it. If you are grounded and you feel like you are standing on your feet, there's much more of a possibility that you are going to focus on what the messages that you are going to pursue instead of fixating yourself on each word or vocabulary and trying not to stumble over your words or trying not to make a mistake is actually going to be the cause of you making that mistake. So rather than focus on the vocabulary, try to focus on grounding your feet and standing still and sitting up in an upright position so that you can breathe properly and see how it goes from there. It's kind of like you allowing your body to act like itself, and that therefore gives your body the permission to perform the way you want it to. Because if you have a lot going on in your head of things you want to remember or things you want to be trying to do, then it's just going to discoordinate us from the way we should be acting. So just be normal. Again, when you are talking with a friend, we are not trying to coordinate ourselves in any way at all. You're just letting it flow naturally. And that actually sounds more naturally to the audience who are receiving your message. And finally, review without judging. And this is a very important stage. You want to be able to go back and look at yourself and how you're performing. There are several ways you can do this. I know that some popular comments these days say to look back at your recording without your voice and just see how your posture is sitting, and then turn on your voice and turn off your visual, or watch with your eyes closed to just listen to the way you're talking and take notes to how you're sounding. And just find a way to detach your emotion and just read the data available. Do you look awkward in any areas, the way you're sitting, the way you're speaking, or do you feel like you can manage yourself in a natural way? Again, camera confidence isn't about being fearless. It is about just going through these steps one at a time and doing it over and over again until you find a spot where you know you can stand. The way you speak, your voice, the way you're breathing, the words, and the way that you are delivering your comments and your message is the point where you want to focus on. I hope this was helpful in any way possible. If you like what I'm delivering regarding camera confidence, please leave a comment. I would love to hear your feedback. And see you in the next one.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap.